Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Fun Coders. So let's get started with image processing basics. For any image processing basics, using MATLAB, knowing how to read an image, show an image, incorporate file paths, as well as image conversions are very important. And let's look at how to perform those activities. So here are some contents I've put together for this presentation to review with you guys. So I have imread as a MATLAB function. We'll be looking forward to how implementation happens with, and we would like to use file paths as well as array concatenation to make sure any kind of image or file path we can incorporate. And then we will look at Imshow. What are the properties of it, and then we will review what is the rgb2gray conversion. We will have few tips at the end of the presentation for those of you who are looking for some that addresses uint8 versus double conversions and MATLAB plot figures, multiple figures plotting in a single figure, and adding labels. So imread. To read any image, we use this function, which is imread. Usually it has input parameter, which is only the file name, and if you want, you could also add a file path into it, and I will show you how to do that. For more input parameters, you can also look at mathworks.com to the link I address below. Default data type of imread or image reading is always uint8. Please note that. Unsigned integer 8-bit. So what that means is when I read with I is equal to im file path and file name, or I just give a file name here, I will be reading such that it shows only uint8 with 3 different channels if it is a color image. We will look at the MATLAB application later on at the end of this video once we review this. So what I'm doing here is making sure we can have a array concatenation. As you know, MATLAB is a matrix, so you can do array concatenation. I can add I can put together 2 numbers concatenated horizontally or vertically. That's exactly what we are doing here. We provide some information or input into the file name, file path, and im name. Now what I'm doing here is, based on the changes in the file name or the file path, I make sure that those 2 are provided as an argument into this imread. So let's look at Imshow. This is information for Imshow. So we have a MATLAB command imshow of I. Here my I is the image which I read. So by default it always be in uint8, or the data type of I which is being read. If you want more information on Imshow, I forgot to attach the link here, but make sure to refer to Imshow in MATLAB. So when I display by this sample code, I would be getting an image like this which I read. Let's look at rgb2gray function. What this typically performs is converts a color image which is in RGB format into a grayscale. So a color image is a combination of three different channels of intensities, and intensities can be either 8-bit or 16-bit or 24-bit depending on the capability. So here in our case we are considering 8-bit. So each channel has that 8-bit information. So we combine all these three channels to get a grayscale image. That's typically what the math behind it. If you want to get a grayscale image, you generally do the average of all the three channels. So if you want to look more information, please refer to rgb2gray in MATLAB. Some tips. We have I gray and I as the images, which we just looked at. So these are usually 02 to 55 range, which is an 8-bit format. If you want to convert uint8 to double, that means each range, each intensity actually will be changing from 0 to 1 instead of 0 to 255. So double usually gives you in the range of 0 to 1. Make sure that you are not getting confused with when you change into double versus when it is uint8. Sometimes MATLAB throws an error and it will have a compatibility issues. So you can plot more than one figures. How? By using this subplot RC position. This means you can provide a matrix. You can provide a matrix which contains number of rows and columns you want to have. That is designated by R and C. Once you know what kind of matrix you're looking, maybe 4 images to plot into or 2 images to plot into, you can designate this R and C's. After you know R and C, all you have to do is provide the index or position. So this position determines where you want to plot which image. So this is a sample code explaining how you can use this function. If you want to label an image, you can label it by title and parentheses name of the image. Make sure you put it in a single quotes. That's all everyone for this presentation. Let's look at the MATLAB implementation of this. So this is a sample code of MATLAB. So how I executed here is provided a clear all, close all and CLC. This will ensure every time you try to rerun the program, it will clear everything and make sure you don't have multiple windows. I have a file path providing from where I'm taking, or the usually if I want to plot more number of images or do more processing, I don't want to change this location. So it is always advisable to provide a file path separately and a name separately so you can feed into your input parameters. Forgot to mention about another tip. Whose eye is usually helpful very much. Like how it will provide the information or about what it is. Look at this closely. So when I give a whose eye, it will provide what kind of name it is and what the size it is, how many bytes and the class. Sometimes this is very useful information. To convert into gray, I used rgb2gray, and when I plotted with this information provided in the sample code, this is how my MATLAB script after running looks like. Hope you guys enjoyed it and found it fun. Look forward to showing you more lots and lots of stuff in image processing. Until next time, have a good image processing